Halloween, my friends, is a really big deal. This holiday is as old as time, originating from Celtic traditions and celebrated for centuries on the British Isles. But don't worry, we're not flying to the Isles. In the age of globalization, Halloween is no longer just for the British. It has crossed borders and oceans, taking on new forms depending on the region. I invite you on a fascinating, though perhaps a little spooky journey around the world following the footsteps of Halloween. We will visit countries, get to know local traditions, sometimes bizarre, sometimes touching, but always showing how diverse cultures are and how they approach what lies behind the curtain of mystery. Let's get going because the ghosts are already impatiently tapping their feet. We're starting off strong in the country that turned Halloween into a real business, the United States. Americans, as you know, like it when it's over the top, and Halloween is the perfect opportunity for them to show off. Stores are bursting with decorations from September, and pumpkins like precious treasures tempt you from every display. Halloween American style is all about fun, or rather a big show where everyone wants to be the star. Costumes? They get crazier every year. From classic witches and zombies to movie characters and politicians, it's like a giant costume party. Houses transform into spooky residences straight out of horror movies, and ghosts, spiders, and other creepy creatures lurk on lawns. Kids dressed as little monsters go door to door demanding candy with the threat of a trick. Adults aren't slacking off either, and they take the opportunity to dress up and have fun. We're hopping over the fence, or rather the border, and landing in Canada. Halloween is also a big deal there. Our distant neighbors, just like Americans, love dressing up, pumpkins, and trick-or-treating. But watch out, Halloween in Canada has a slightly different vibe. It's more laid back, without the unnecessary pressure. It's more of an occasion for a family feast and chats with friends while carving pumpkins and telling scary stories, just like the ones from our childhood. Sure, there are parties and parades, but without that American gigantism. In Canada, Halloween is primarily a holiday for kids, who, with big smiles on their faces, dress up as their favorite characters and collect candy. And now, attention please, we're moving to the land where Halloween was born, Ireland. It was there, among the green hills and mysterious ruins, that the ancient Celts celebrated the festival of Samhain, the forerunner of today's Halloween. Samhain, celebrated on October 31st, marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter. It was a magical time when the boundary between the world of the living and the dead became thin as a hair, and ghosts could roam the earth. In Ireland, Halloween is still strongly associated with tradition and folklore. It's a time for ghost stories, fortune-telling, and rituals to ward off evil spirits. Although Ireland has been influenced by American Halloween, it has retained its unique character. We're flying over the ocean, straight to Mexico. There, Halloween, although increasingly popular, takes a backseat to a much more important holiday, Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Celebrated on November 1st and 2nd, Day of the Dead is a joyous holiday for Mexicans, full of colors, music, and delicious food. Mexicans believe that on the Day of the Dead, the souls of loved ones return to earth to visit them. That's why they prepare special altars for them, called ofrendas, on which they place their favorite food, drinks, photos, and mementos of the deceased. The symbol of the Day of the Dead is calaveras, colorful skulls made of sugar, chocolate, and even bread. Day of the Dead is a family holiday for Mexicans, full of warmth and emotion. Now we're off to the Far East, to the land of the rising sun. In Japan, Halloween, although it has no traditional roots, is gaining more and more popularity, especially among young people. The Japanese, known for their fondness for Western culture, enthusiastically embraced Halloween, seeing it as another opportunity for fun and dressing up. And so on the streets of Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto, you can meet characters straight out of Japanese horror movies, manga, and anime. Halloween in Japan is primarily an excuse to party. Nightclubs compete with each other in coming up with ideas for themed costume balls, and shopping malls organize contests for the best costume. Now we're flying to the antipodes, to Australia, where Halloween evokes mixed feelings. On the one hand, Australians, known for their laid-back attitude and love of partying, are happy to take the opportunity to dress up and have fun. On the other hand, many of them consider Halloween to be an American invention that has nothing to do with their culture. Nevertheless, Halloween is slowly gaining popularity in Australia, especially in large cities such as Sydney and Melbourne. This is evident in the growing number of houses decorated with pumpkins and cobwebs, as well as Halloween parties in clubs and pubs. Fun fact: Halloween in Australia falls in spring. Instead of autumn leaves and a cool breeze, Australians are greeted by blooming flowers and sunshine. We're returning to Europe, specifically to Great Britain, the cradle of Halloween. Although it was on the British Isles that the festival of Samhain was born, for years Halloween was overshadowed by Guy Fawkes Night, celebrated on November 5th. However, Halloween has recently experienced a real renaissance in Great Britain. More and more Britons, inspired by American productions, are decorating their homes, dressing up, and celebrating Halloween. But watch out, Halloween in Great Britain has its own unique style. Sure, there's no shortage of trick-or-treating and costume parties, but Britons are happy to return to their native traditions, such as bonfires, telling scary stories, and carving lanterns from turnips, not pumpkins. It seems that Halloween has settled in Great Britain for good, combining American extravagance with British tradition. We're moving to the Iberian Peninsula, to Spain. There, Halloween competes with the traditional holiday of Dia de Todos los Santos, or All Saints' Day. For Spaniards, November 1st is primarily a day of contemplation and reflection. They visit the graves of loved ones, decorate them with flowers, and light candles. It's a time for remembrance, prayer, and contemplation. Halloween, although increasingly popular, especially among young people, does not have the same significance in Spain as Dia de Todos los Santos. Nevertheless, in large cities such as Madrid and Barcelona, Halloween parties are held and shops tempt with decorations and costumes. We end our journey in the Philippines. There, Halloween, as in Spain, competes with the local holiday of the dead called Undas. Undas, celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd, is a time for Filipinos to pray for the souls of the dead and visit their graves. It's a time for contemplation, reflection, and family gatherings. Halloween, although gaining popularity, especially among young people, does not have the same significance in Filipino culture as Undas. Nevertheless, in large cities such as Manila and Cebu, Halloween parties are organized and shops tempt with decorations and costumes. For example, Pangangalulua is popular. Children go door to door singing songs and asking for prayers for the souls of the dead. And we've reached the end of our Halloween adventure. As you can see, Halloween is a holiday that takes on different forms depending on the region. One thing is for sure, Halloween connects people around the world, regardless of culture, language, or religion. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. See you next time. Bye.